Hi there. We're going to do an in-depth discussion of phrasing. How to phrase a measure of music or a line of music. How you approach the flow of the notes. I'm going to share with you how I think about it and how I deal with it. See what you think. One thing I would say to you is that to craft phrases which are exquisitely beautiful to you and to your audience, you have to have an understanding of what the role is of each note within the phrase. To understand, is it a note that you're moving towards, which is a point of emphasis or slight emphasis, or is it just a passing tone? Or is it a repetition that you're going to need to change a little bit to make it work? Is it soft? Is it strong? What are you going to do with vibrato? What are you going to do with tone? All these things. And so I'm not going to cover every single element of a phrase because that would take a half an hour to 45 minutes, but I'll cover some of the main points. We're going to be working on a gorgeous piece of music called Rachmaninoff's Vocalist. Now, Vocalist has been performed by orchestra, it's been performed by piano, and it's been performed by voice with orchestra. A lot of different versions and in various keys, but there's some things that are kind of interesting. I'm going to talk about points of emphasis, but that doesn't mean more volume necessarily. I'm going to show you the first line of the score, and this goes bum bum na 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 na. Okay? That's what it sounds like. How about if I play a little bit of a woman singing it for you first, okay? And you can hear like what she does with it. Okie doke? Now, just for comparison, let's play Kissin's version, who's a pianist. It's a little different. I want you to listen to the na na na. Compare the difference between the girl who sang and the one that was Kissin playing a piano, because they're quite different. Is a little backed off on volume with the girl singing. Okay, let's go pop over and listen to the piano one and see what does he do on that third note. Why, he gives it more emphasis. You know why? Because it's a dotted half note. And this doggone note's got to last all the way over to there. And the piano, you don't have a bow. You want that note to last, you got to hit it harder. So this is an example of where the artistic interpretation is different on various instruments. Now, the interesting point is that emphasis on that third note. And let me back up here and just say that what's happening is na na na. Okay, this na na na. That note is more important and has more emphasis than these guys. Na na na. By repeating that note, our mind fixates on it more, and this is a passing tone. Na 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 na, because it's going up to the other note. So they have different roles, you see? Sometimes the note is just to introduce the tone, like na, and that's a passing tone. Na, na, a point of emphasis. Okay, so they have different roles. It's like on a football team or whatever. I mean, it's a different role for different notes. And You kind of got to know that. Okay? So, but even though that third note has a point of emphasis, it can be emphasized with more volume or less. The singer uses less. Let's listen to her again and see how she's developing this thing. It's a gorgeous piece, isn't it? Let's listen. So you see the points of emphasis are mirrored. Na, 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 passing tones. Na, 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 then na, 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 again passing. Na, then is a hold note that means something. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Okay? Those are the big notes, the ones that mean something. But now, let me play it on chromatic harmonica and show you what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to go on top of the violinist because these are actually in two different keys, if you've noticed that. That's kind of an interesting complexing issue, too, as we go to work with music, is what key it is. But there we go. Forgot to turn on my mic. Gotta have that. Here we go. Now, what did I do? To make those notes that need emphasis have more punch, I backed off the volume. Didn't increase it, and that works too. Because when you whisper, people listen more. All of the most important notes were the same volume, but they're a little bit lower. I just used the other ones as pathing things. So my point is, this is the kind of detailed thinking that you want to put into your crafting of your phrases. Listen to a variety of pieces. Again, why did the piano come in and again, let's listen to it again and you'll hear how strong that third note is. And on each of those important notes, I'll point. You see? Why did he do that? Because he's stuck on a piano. On a chromatic harmonica, this being a Seydel Symphony ALU, a little bit of customization. I have the friction-free covers, the eyebrow button, and the slider. This is the Bollettini. It's been customized too with a little bit of grip tape there. But the piano has to play it differently. Because if he went, na, 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 if that third note were very soft, it would get lost very, very quickly. It wouldn't hold. So he had to come out, na, 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 on piano. And let's listen to her one more time so you can hear what the vocalist did. Different game now, but she's got a voice. See, it's like a violin. It can keep going, like our harmonica. They become points of emphasis because they're quieter. So you can accomplish things different ways as an artist. But that's the kind of detailed thinking that I think gives you phrases that really become compelling to the audience because they're complex, they're thought through, and you know the role of each and every note in the whole doggone piece, and you know what to do with it. So it is more work, but you'll find that this approach will take your phrasing to a new level. And phrasing is so important because after the individual note, then it's phrases, okay, in terms of organizational structure of music. So individual notes are so important, but phrases then become extremely important. They're like sentences in a paragraph. I hope you've enjoyed this phrasing